Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. PK Mutch here, founder of Lisbeth Media and caretaker for the Feminist Enterprise Commons. Happy holidays. This is my December 2021 viewpoint, the last one of the year, and my theme is business trend reports for 2022. So let's get started. So, one of the things I do at this time of year is plan for next year. Who doesn't do that, right? And as part of the effort, I check out all those business and economic trend reports. They're everywhere at this time of year. I read the Economist one, I read brand name consulting reports, and from there I make a list of all the trends they note and compare them to see what's the same and what's different. I also take into account who their audience is, who wrote it, and who paid for it. From there, I create a sort of paper-based crystal ball in the form of a chart that gives me an idea of what threats and opportunities I, as an enterprise founder, need to pay attention to next year. So, what have I learned so far? Well, you can check out my list here. These are a few of the trends that forecasters seem to agree on in general. So, one of the interesting things about analyzing these trend reports is that, and get this, none of these well researched business trend reports talk about the threats or opportunities associated with the advancement of gender equity, decolonization, labor rights, the dismantling of patriarchy, ending racism, or increasing accessibility. As an important as important None of them consider them important business trends for 2022. So why is that? Because at the end of the day, despite enlightened CEO speeches, business is on the whole still business, and capitalism is still capitalism as usual for the vast majority of the private sector. But for those of us working to change business culture, who believe that business can be an accelerant for social change, um, there is hope. There is hope. Okay, are you ready? The hope is in this: the emergence of the mullet enterprise. That's right, I said mullet. And for those who missed the 1980s, the mullet, also known as the high low hairdo or hockey hair, if you're here in Canada, was the hairdo for norm busting rock stars like David Bowie and social rebels everywhere. And it was not all guys either. Women wore them too. Pat Benatar, Jane Fonda, and including me back in the day. The mullet, it was an essential cultural theme meme at the time that stood for business in the front and party at the back. And before you disparage the mullet as a concept or metaphor or turn off this video, hear me out just a little bit more. Did you know that the high low do actually originated in France? And that makes it better already, right? It also has a long history as the hairdo of choice for helmet wearing warriors, goddesses, rebels, and respected leaders of all genders from antiquity to today. The mullet is also right now undergoing a bit of a revival, which makes sense to me because these are definitely rebel times. So, what is a mullet enterprise? A mullet enterprise is basically one that is conventional at the front and radical at the back. In contrast, conventional businesses are try to look radical in the front, but they're super conventional at the back. Imagine that as a hairstyle. Fake progress in the private sector is a real problem, in my opinion. You can't tweak, product innovate, or market your way to social change or saving the planet. You have to change the systems, metrics, the policies, procedures, the culture, the norms at the back end if you really want to create and participate in the creation of a fair and just economy for all. It means doing business totally differently. And that's where mullet enterprises come in because they focus on that. Just imagine what our society would be like if the number of mullet enterprises grew to the point of being the status quo. And just imagine how differently we would experience work and our economic lives if mullet enterprises were the norm. So, how did we come to identify this trend? A lot of lived experience and deep conversations with colleagues in the feminist enterprise trenches, plus a lot of interactions with hundreds of entrepreneurs just this year alone in my work. If you are interested in 5 other trends I believe will be important in 2022, please stick around for the outro part of this video. I list them all there afterwards, plus, there's some other good stuff there. So, before I go, I also need to point out our annual donation drive. Please consider supporting Lisbeth Media. It helps us continue to bring you discourse stimulating and nourishing content in the coming year. And finally, from all of us here at Lisbeth and our community in general, have a happy holiday season, and we'll see you next year in January. Take care.